These are my top 10 Braves prospects for the end of the 2024 season. Starting at number 10, we have Owen Murphy. Selected 20th overall in the 2022 draft, Murphy has quickly seemed like a solid pick as he began racking up strikeouts and keeping the walks down. As a 19-year-old in his first full year in A-ball in 2023, Murphy had only 32 walks in 89 2/3 innings, to go along with 97 strikeouts. And in his first 7 starts in 2024, Murphy posted a very strong 1.54 ERA. Unfortunately, after those 7 starts, Murphy had to undergo Tommy John surgery, and that is a big reason why Murphy is not ranked higher, as he was looking like a potential top 100 prospect before his injury. Reports are that despite Murphy sitting in the low 90s, he is one of the better fastballs in the system, with his low release and good spin. He is also reported to have great command that could end up being plus or better, and both his slider and curveball have shown potential. But the spin on both has been inconsistent, and he hasn't missed as many bats as hoped. Murphy will most likely spend most, if not all, of 2025 on the IL. Whenever he's healthy again, we'll probably see him back at Rome for a few starts, but if all goes well, he will quickly climb up the Braves' minor league ladders, just like previous pitchers before him. Coming in at number 9, I have the Braves' 2024 top international free agent signing in Jose Perdomo. Widely regarded to be a top 3 prospect in the entire 2024 international class, Jose reportedly has an advanced bat with potential average or better power. Perdomo also has above average speed, and he's projected to be an average defender who should stick at shortstop. All of this is why the Braves gave the then 17-year-old $5 million in January of 2024. The Venezuelan shortstop started the year on the injured list and has only played a total of 8 games in the Dominican Summer League. More than likely, Jose will start next year in rookie ball, but if he stays healthy and shows what he can do, then he'll likely see some time in A-ball at least towards the end of the year. Next at number 8, I have the Braves' 2023 top international free agent signing in Luis Guanipa. And the Braves left no question that they thought very highly of Luis, as they gave the then 17-year-old $2.5 million. Guanipa was considered by some at the time to be a top 20 international prospect for that class, but others did have him as low as mid-30s. After signing, Guanipa batted .238 in 46 games in the Dominican Summer League, but showed an above-average walk rate of 11.1% and a relatively low strikeout rate of 20.2%. In 2024, the Braves brought Luis stateside, and he started off the year right, batting .282 in 20 games in the FCL, where he again showed a high walk rate and a low strikeout rate. The Braves promoted Guanipa to low A, where he looked overmatched at the plate, hitting .184 with no home runs in 32 games. Even though his strikeouts creeped up a bit, his strikeout rate did stay pretty good at only 25%, and his walk rate stayed solid at only 8%. Luis will only be a young 19-year-old to start the 2025 season, and he just came to America in 2024, so he's allowed an adjustment period. He is reportedly a plus athlete with a projectable above-average hit tool. He has good raw power, which can play higher with his above-average bat speed. He also has a good arm and outstanding speed, which should both help him stay in center. The upside here with Luis is massive. He could turn into an elite defensive center fielder with a loud hit tool and good speed, aka another Michael Harris II. This is a very good prospect to have in the back end of your top 10, as Luis has a lot of loud tools to project on, and he's still very young. We should learn more about him after this coming year, as he'll start the year at least low A, which plays much more games in the rookie leagues. That brings us to number 7. At number 7, I have Drue Hackenberg. In the 2023 draft, the Braves did what some people at the time thought was not only a surprising move in selecting Drue Hackenberg in the 2nd round, but by giving the draft-eligible sophomore a well above slot $2 million signing bonus. The baby of 4 brothers, Hackenberg comes from professional athlete bloodlines. New York Jets fans may recognize the last name because his older brother, Christian, was drafted by the Jets in the 2nd round of the 2016 draft. Or maybe if you're an Orlando City soccer fan, you might recognize his other older brother in Brandon Hackenberg, who was selected in the first round of the 2021 MLS Super Draft by Orlando City. Don't like soccer or football? Well, his third older brother, Adam, played baseball at Clemson and then was drafted in the 18th round by the Chicago White Sox in 2021. Not to mention, his dad played quarterback for the University of Virginia, and his mom also reportedly played volleyball in college. Now, Hackenberg has flashed moments of sheer dominance on the mound, like in his ridiculous 16 strikeout performance in AA earlier this year. And it's part of the reason why he stormed through the minors in 2024, going from high A to start the year all the way to making 4 starts in AAA to end the year. Drue has shown the ability to miss bats, limit walks, and has done a fantastic job so far of keeping the ball in the ballpark, as he's given up only 2 home runs so far in his professional career. Hackenberg sits in the mid-90s with both his fastball and his sinker, and his sinker gets well above average marks as it produces high ground ball rates, and he reportedly commands it better than his fastball. Hackenberg has multiple, potentially major league caliber secondary pitches, with the slider being his best so far. His slider is reported to have a sharp, nasty bite that when located right is downright unhittable. His curveball has also flashed above average potential, but at times has looked too similar to his slider. He also throws a cutter that could potentially become another major league offering. Hackenberg will come into spring looking to etch out a rotation spot, but barring an injury from one of the few guys in front of him, I just don't see Drue making very many starts for Atlanta in 2025. Now, that's not a bad thing, as Hackenberg will only be a young 23-year-old next year, and he still has the potential to break into a major league rotation very soon. I just don't see it being Atlanta in 2025. Now, coming in at number 6, we have some more baseball bloodlines in Caminiti. Cam is the cousin of the former NL MVP and Atlanta Brave, Ken Caminiti. Drafted 24th overall in this year's 2024 MLB Draft, Cam was expected to go well before 24th, but slid all the way down to Atlanta. At just 18 years old, Cam is already 6'2", 195 pounds. He is also very young for the high school draft class, having reclassified to graduate high school early. The former LSU commit didn't even turn 18 until a month after he was drafted. Cam started 1 game in A-ball this year, and in 3 innings he gave up 3 hits, 1 run, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. Reports are that Cam can run it up to as fast as 98 miles per hour from the left-hand side, but he generally sits 95-96. The upside for Cam is immaculate. Reports are that he also has good feel for a slider and a curve, as well as a changeup. Now, don't expect to see the 18-year-old Caminiti wearing an Atlanta uniform anytime soon, as he likely needs a few more years of seasoning in the minors before he's ready, but this is a big-time prospect with loud tools that should be fun to watch develop in the next coming years. At number 5, I have Ritchie. Drafted 35th overall in the 2022 draft, which is the same year as Owen Murphy, but Ritchie was selected 15 spots later. Ritchie came into the system firing as he quickly began racking up strikeouts and not issuing walks. But in early May 2023, after just 4 games into his first full season, JR would go down, needing Tommy John surgery, and he'd be out for not only the remainder of the year, but part of 2024 as well. When Ritchie did make it back to the mound, however, he picked up right where he left off, striking out more than 11 batters per 9 innings in 32 innings in A-ball. Ritchie then saw 2 games in high A-ball where he struck out less batters, but had a better walk rate. Ritchie features a fastball that he can run up into the upper 90s, along with a potential above-average off-speed pitch in his slider. His changeup has flashed average potential as well, giving Ritchie 3 big league pitches to work with. Ritchie will probably start 2025 back in high A, but with a good spring or a fast start, he could quickly see himself pitching Atlanta's double or AAA affiliates next year. Now, this all depends on a good, healthy year, as that's really all what's been missing from Ritchie so far. Coming in next at number 4, I have Hurston Waldrep. Drafted 24th overall in the 2023 draft, Waldrep rocketed all the way up to AAA in his draft year. 2024, however, saw Waldrep repeat AA for 9 dominant starts before heading back up to AAA, where he struck out 11 in his first start back. This prompted Atlanta to promote him to the big leagues, where he made 2 starts before going on the IL with elbow soreness. Waldrep features a split change that is downright nasty, and is probably already a well above average major league offering. His fastball sits in the mid-90s but is not a very effective offering, as it really hasn't shown the ability to miss many bats. His slider could develop into an average pitch, but as it currently stands, he's struggling to locate it well enough for it to really be a weapon for him. Despite only currently having 1 true above average offering, Waldrep has the makings of a front-end starter. He gets good marks for his work ethic and is apparently known for being a high-energy competitor and a perfectionist. His split change gives him a solid floor of a high bullpen arm, but if he can get 1 more of his offerings to be above average with it, then it looks as if Waldrep can turn into a high-octane starter. Like a few others on this list, Waldrep will head into spring 2025 looking to claim a spot in the major league rotation. Now that doesn't seem entirely likely just yet, but depending on the offseason and how spring goes, it's certainly possible. Regardless, if things keep trending in the same direction for Hurston, we should see his split change in Atlanta for many years to come. Drafted in the 5th round of the 2022 MLB Draft, Nacho is a relatively unknown prospect until recently, but Nacho has done nothing but mash ever since getting drafted. Nacho reached A-ball in his draft year and put up solid numbers in short sample size. 2023 saw Nacho spend the entire year at High A Rome, where he again put up impressive strikeout and walk rate, especially for a young 20-year-old. 2024 saw Nacho climb from Double-A all the way to Atlanta for a short stint. Now that short stint showed that Nacho may not be ready for the majors just yet, but as a 21-year-old in Triple-A, Nacho again put up impressive numbers and is showing more and more power each year. Nacho's offensive numbers at such a high level in young age means he's probably going to be an above-average MLB hitter for the foreseeable future. How good is anyone's guess, and just how much power he will have is also still a question, but the biggest question about Nacho is gonna be where his defensive home is, as anyone who saw Nacho's few games in Atlanta knows he's a long way from being a major league caliber shortstop at the moment. But reports are that Alvarez is a plus glove with a great arm, so really what we saw at shortstop in the majors is gonna be more attributed to range, and due to his lack of range, Nacho profiles better as a second or third baseman, which both positions are obviously very blocked in the long term for Atlanta. Nacho will come in the spring of 2025 trying to force his way under the roster with his bat. Pretty much at this point in Nacho's development, he doesn't have anything left to prove offensively in AAA, but he will need to get defensive reps in regardless if he moves off of short or not. As much as it pains me to say this, it really looks similar to Vaughn Grissom just a year later. But the Braves did trade Vaughn Grissom for Chris Sale. Nacho's basically a major league ready second or third baseman who doesn't have a spot for him in Atlanta. Taken in the 3rd round of the 2022 draft, Baldwin was quickly moved to Low A Rome, where he held his own, showing good strikeout and walk rates. 2023 saw Baldwin play most of the season in High A Rome, where he continued to put up good strike and walkout rates, along with 14 home runs and 405 plate appearances. Baldwin would get promoted to Double-A for 14 games and even 3 games in Triple-A to end the year. Baldwin started 2024 back in Double-A, where he again showed good plate discipline in 52 games before going to Triple-A Gwinnett, where he broke out, popping 12 home runs and 334 plate appearances, along with a walk rate that almost matched his strikeout rate. These are very good numbers for a 23-year-old catcher to put up in AAA. Baldwin looks like he'll be able to hit at the major league level, especially for a catcher, as catchers don't statistically bring as much offense as other positions because, it's really important for your catcher to, be a good catcher first. Baldwin gets good marks for his arm and is considered to be a decent receiving catcher who could develop into an all-around major league caliber catcher. With Baldwin having the ability to be even average behind the plate defensively, it means his raw power and excellent plate discipline could turn him into a top catcher in all of baseball. With the Braves allowing Travis d'Arnaud to leave for Los Angeles, it seems like Baldwin will have a shot to make the team this spring. I do expect the Braves to carry Drake as at least the backup catcher next year, but he could see plenty of playing time in a tandem with Sean Murphy. Coming in at an easy number 1 is AJ Smith-Shawver. The 21-year-old Smith-Shawver has already seen some time in the majors with 7 big league starts under his belt, including a playoff start. Now those numbers haven't went the way that the Braves or AJ may have hoped, but he's certainly shown glimpses as to why he's a consensus top 25 prospect, and his numbers in the minors have been dominant. Smith-Shawver came into this year looking to etch out that 5th rotation spot, but injuries and performances by AJ and others have him taking another year to develop. Now that's not a bad thing, as like I said, the 21-year-old has less than a full season's worth of innings under his belt. Not only has Smith-Shawver hardly pitched as a professional, but he's hardly pitched at all. Smith-Shawver originally stopped pitching in high school to focus on football, and due to a growth palate issue in his shoulder, he didn't even pitch the first 3 years of high school, and he only made 9 starts during his senior year. Thankfully, he returned to the mound for a summer league in 2020, which he only attended because a number of football camps were canceled that year. AJ immediately began throwing 92 to 94 miles per hour, and the Braves drafted him in the 7th round of the 2021 draft. In 2023, Smith-Shawver rocketed through the minors, going from high A ball all the way up to AAA in a matter of months. AJ can run it all the way up to 100 miles an hour, but he sits at around 95. His fastball has above average carry on it, which also helps the velocity play up. He also has a slider and a curveball that both have the potential to be average to plus offerings. He has more feel right now for his curve, but both have good spin rates and could be effective offerings when he locates them. However, AJ's best pitch may just be his splitter. It has excellent movement and he commands it well, giving AJ potentially 4 above average pitches to play with, and he's only 21 years old. Add in that Smith-Shawver gets consistent good marks for maturity and work ethic, and the fact that he's not pitching near as much as most prospects his age, and you can see why the sky's the limit for this kid. Stop me if you've heard this already this video, but AJ will start 2025 looking to claim a rotation spot in Atlanta. Now that won't be an easy feat given Atlanta's current rotation and the amount of pitching prospects in the upper minors. But given Smith-Shawver's young age and crazy talent, you can expect to see his name at the front of Atlanta's rotation at some point in the future for many years to come. So to wrap it all up, these are my top 10 Braves prospects for the end of the 2024 year. Now you could certainly argue them in a different order, but I would say at the very least there seems to be a few tiers. The Braves system looks a lot better than it did in previous years now that some of these younger, lesser known prospects have had a few years to develop. The Braves system is full of more young talent that could end up on future lists one day. So instead of doing an honorable mentions type section in this video, I'm instead going to make an entirely different video for those type of prospects, the types that I just find interesting, or maybe they have an interesting tool or whatever. So I'll be doing a separate video for that. So be sure to subscribe if you'd like to see that video. And as always, I hope you all have a wonderful day.